So we're on the very last page of the last packet, and this is our last look at our calendar. I have no agenda today other than just giving you some very general information about the final exam, and then we'll spend probably an hour just working on whatever you guys want to work on in your groups. Our exam again is this coming Friday. It is scheduled for 10:30 to 12:30, but we'll extend that in both directions. We'll write it down in just a few minutes. And also the last project is due. I've already gotten it from some people, but the last project is due by that day, okay? Any questions on the calendar? Okay, so I'll just, since this is our last look at the calendar, we'll take a ceremonial last look at it, I guess. So there is the calendar in all its glory. It's been a lot of stuff we have done this semester. It has been a long road for some of us. And the journey is almost over. So again, I know you're tired, but this thing will all be done Friday coming up. Your whole semester will be done. So find those hidden reserves of energy and call upon them in this last week of the semester. Okay, so before we look at the final exam information, just a reminder, we have our annual studio pizza party right after this class. So just walk across the hall and get some free pizza. And just figured I'd project it. This is the studio schedule starting tomorrow and for the rest of the week. The first day over there is Tuesday, tomorrow. And then there's people on duty again all week, up to and including me showing up before your final exam. So you can write stuff down. You can check out the video if you want to see it. It's also here in blue, and it's in blue in the studio as well, okay? All right, so we'll come back here, and on page 64, all the way back up here, areas of emphasis. Chris. Okay, so lots of stuff with functions. You might say that Math 107 is really about the study of functions, the introduction to functions. And we continued that study earlier this semester and throughout, even as we got into the sinusoidal stuff. So lots of functions. Can we go to Garrett for the next piece? Okay, so I know it was a long time ago that we did all the exponential and log stuff, but we did it. In fact, trig didn't even start until right around the midway point of the semester. But all the stuff before that, make sure you go and review it because it's been a long, long time. And then we'll get to trig. Hillary?
Angles, degrees, radians, arc, length, finding math values, evaluate the first function, sides, angles, triangles, using SOHCAHTOA, use trigger identity, polar,
Okay, so again, trig is going to be at least half of the exam. It was about half of our semester. And so lots and lots of stuff to do inside of trig. Just make sure, actually, I've been working on the final recently, and I took the final on Saturday. And 87, which is like a B, B+, it's solid. What's that? I wrote it. Yeah, that's hard. And what's that? And
if we absorbed 100% of what you were teaching us, we'll get an 87.
Yeah, that's the horizontal asymptote. You can't get above the 87 asymptote.
How do you know you got it all right if you broke the answers too?
That's a good question. by definition, mine is the answer key. So one thing I'll say about the exam when I was taking it, I was like, oh, I got to make sure we change to degree mode for this question. Oh, I better change back to radian mode for this question. So I didn't go out of my way to say in big bold letters, change your calculator to degree mode. So make sure you are aware. Anytime you're hitting, any of those sine, cosine, tangent buttons, you think about what mode you're in. Okay, we'll go to Vanessa for parametric. Okay, like the most recent stuff that we've had since the third test, it's not going to be weighted any more than it normally would just because we haven't had a test on it yet, but you will see something with, like an ellipse or a hyperbola or parabola. Okay, so we'll go to number 2, Ernie.
See the syllabus for the date, time of final exam. Official window is 2 hours.
Okay, let's pause there. So our official window is 10:30 to 12:30. We're going to change that to 10 to 1. Okay, so half an hour on either end, right here in this room. I haven't checked to see if this room is available right before our exam, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's just plan on showing up for a 10 o'clock start, and if outside with the chalk, yeah. So plan to come at 10 if you want. You can leave as soon as you're done, so there's no penalty for coming at 10. Okay, keep going, Ernie.
You tend to go over time on our early exams. This is a sign.
Okay, so if I'm counting correctly, that's 6 pieces of paper you're going to bring with you. 3 with your own writing on it. If you've been keeping the reference sheets for your first 3 tests, then they would be perfect to bring back in. At some point, I'm going to remember to announce that early in the semester, because then a lot of people are like, oh, I wish I would have kept them. Make sure if you do that, that you add the stuff for the conic sections, because they won't be on any of your reference sheets yet. And then 3 other pieces of paper, unit circle, trig identities, and the conic sections formula sheet. If you are missing any of those things, all of the packets are available on Moodle as Word documents. So just go grab them and print the first page of each packet, or you'll find them. Okay, any questions about any of that stuff? Kate? The whole test is calculator active. No. Any other questions about any of that? Okay, so can somebody locate for us, there were some review type things someplace in here. Oh yeah, maybe here, page 57. So on page 57 is a more detailed version of the list of things that we just read through. This is actually a list of skills that you should bring with you, like to be prepared for the test. So it's just like a very active list of 28 things that you should know how to do or be able to do. Then at the bottom is a list of places you can go for resources. And speaking of resources, I went ahead and I photocopied an answer key to all of our quizzes. So it's here, just take one and pass them around. I printed one for everybody. After I printed them, I realized that quiz number 6 answer key didn't get in there, so take one of those and pass them around. Okay, and then for the 11 people that requested it, I made blank copies of all 10 quizzes, including quiz number 6. So if you requested it, take one and pass it around. And many thanks to Tassiday for collating and organizing this last packet. Okay, so on the next page, you don't need to start here, but on the next page is one of, I think, 2 final review activities. This one is designed to help you review some trig stuff. And there's an answer key that follows. And then if you keep going, you will find final review activity number 2, which will help you help refresh your memory on some of the older stuff we did with continuous growth rates and logs and stuff like that. And again, there's an answer key that follows. And just in terms of the whole YouTube thing, I just want to, again, make it really clear how to find stuff. So it's easy to find it if you know what you're looking for. So if we go to YouTube, let's go back to there. Oh, exciting news on the YouTube front. Come on, my channel. There we go. All right, so what's that? Did somebody take one of the blank quiz packets that didn't ask for one the other day? If not, I'll make another one right after class. Okay, all right, there it is. We'll send that up here. Yeah, it's right there. If anybody else wants one, just see me right after class and I will print a blank one, but it should be right there. Okay, super. Okay, so we got over 1,000 at some point over the weekend. I don't know when it happened, but that's pretty exciting. So 1,008 views. But if you are looking for other stuff, again, if you want to find a particular class date, you type in 107 and then the date. So let's find a date that we met. So for example, if you want to review continuous growth, you go to the calendar, you say, oh, that happened on February 6th. And so you type in here 108 February 06. Make sure to include the O. And what happened? Did I do something wrong? Was that before we put them up? Okay, let's try February 24. We could also watch basketball highlights. February 24. Wait, I'm confused. Was there a test on that day? Of course. All right. February 27. Come on, no whammies. There, snow day. Right. Okay, so that's the format. So type in 108 and then the month and then the day. And if the day starts with a 0, include the 0, otherwise you won't find it. Before I did this, they're still up on, where are they? They're still in that that funny drive that people were having trouble accessing. There was like I sent an email to everybody early in the semester, and I said, here's the format, like the URL that you need to type in to access any of the videos. They're still there. I haven't deleted them, but yeah, that's how to find them. Yeah. Easiest thing is if you have a thumb drive, I can, like all of these videos, including the ones that aren't on YouTube, are on this computer right here. So if you have a thumb drive, I can just give you everything. Yeah. Okay, and all the sample test problems for tests 1, 2, and 3 are still there. Again, just need to get the right format. Okay, any questions on any of that? All right, so find something to do. We'll put the flags out and I'll walk around and see what we can do.